Good morning, people. This is unit number 3 from Champion's book. The unit name is about opinions. The objective for this class is that students will be able to talk about their obligations and what is prohibited. My name is William Guandique, and I'm in charge of English classes at Liceo Cristiano Flavio Josef. The agenda for today is that we've got the greetings, number one, the agenda, this presentation, what a fact is, what an opinion is. We have a conversation model about the kind of music you prefer, an exercise 2 on page 56 from the book, an explanation about must and can, this model that they are very useful in the English speaking, and the exercise on page number 58 and the farewell. So that's the agenda for today, and let's continue on this presentation. In order to start, we have something. What is the difference between facts and opinions? So it's a different. We have here a conversation, and I want you to follow the reading, and it's about the teacher and math. Is about the teacher and math. So we have something like this, that it says, exercise 1, read the conversation. The teacher, okay guys, does anyone know what a fact is? So he's presenting here what a fact is, right? He's presenting what a fact is. And Matt says, I know, Mr. Evans. And the teacher says, okay, tell me. And Matt says, a fact is something that can be proven. So we have here, a fact is something that can be proven. And the teacher says, you're right. What's an opinion then? And Matt says, an opinion is one that each person may make based on personal belief, thought, values, and cultural behavior. So we have that the fact is something that can be proven, and an opinion is a personal belief, a personal thought, or values in the cultural behavior. And then the teacher finished the conversation saying, you're an outstanding student, Matt. Now, that is what we have in here. Let's continue on. Let's continue on this. And we have in the next slide. In the next slide, we have something in here. And is what we will be working. And it says, what is a fact? What is a fact? And according to the conversation in this exercise that says, answer the following questions, and it says then go around the class, but we are not going around because we are in a different process. But it says, what is a fact? And we have something in here. What is a fact? And we say that a fact is something that can be proven. A fact is something that can be proven, it says. Now, what is an opinion? An opinion is a personal, they say that it was a personal belief. A personal belief or a thought in the cultural behavior. That is what it says in there, that it's an opinion, right? And is what we have. Let's see, wait a second. And let's see. So that is an opinion, right? Is a personal belief, thought in the cultural behavior. Now, what is the difference between a fact and an opinion? The difference is that a fact can be proven, a fact can be proven. Meanwhile, the personal belief is a thought. An opinion is a thought, right? So that is, I will say like that, that's the difference. Now, can you give an example of a fact? An example of a fact is, let's say, an example of a fact is that San Salvador City, San Salvador City is the capital of El Salvador. That is something that it can be proven, and you know, we cannot move that, right? We cannot move that. Is there. We know that the San Salvador is the capital city of El Salvador. So we can say that Washington, Seattle is the capital of the United States, and we can say so on. That's a fact. Now, can you give an example of an opinion? I can say, for example, and I'll say Valerie Camila looks very sad. So we can say that Valerie Camila looks very sad. That's my opinion, but we don't really know if that is happening, right? We don't know if that's happening. So that is the difference between them. And continuing here, let's see. Oh, okay. We will erase this and erase everything. Now we have in this presentation, we have the difference. Now let's go to the in here, and we have a modal verb usage. This modal verb usage, we have different kind of modals, but one of the modals we have is must and can. But let's take a read in here. Let's read and try to understand in here. And it says can. We use can for ability, request, or possibility or permission. So we use can for ability, request, possibility, or permission. Now let's see. It says in here, I can jump high. That's an ability, right? Is the capacity to jump high. Now we have the second one, a request. Can I go to the toilet, please? So he's asking for a permission, right? Is requesting a permission. Now, next example, you can eat in the canteen. Is a possibility and is also a permission. So we can say that can, we use it in different contexts, right? In different contexts, depending what are your needs. Now, if we have an affirmative modal verb can, also we have a negative, and the negative is can't. Now, can't is the lack of ability. It is something that we cannot do. Can't, we use can for certainty that something is impossible. Like the word says, possibility means something that is possible. And impossible is the impossibility, is something that is not possible. It cannot happen. And the lack of permission, there we use can't. Now we have, she can't speak Japanese. So she cannot speak Japanese. Puede hablar otro idioma quizás, puede hablar inglés, pero no puede hablar japonés. Now, he can't be home so early. He can't be home so early. So in this case, it's certainty that something is impossible. Ella no puede estar en casa temprano, tan temprano. Then the next example, you can't go to the toilet now. Is the lack of permission. No puedes ir al baño. No puedes ir al baño ahora. Now we have can and can't. Now there's a difference there, and the difference is that what we have there is when we say I can jump, the main stress or the main tone of voice we use it in jump. I can jump, and in there we made the stress in the verb. I can jump. But if it is in negative and we are using can't, we say she can't speak Italian. She can't speak Japanese. She can't speak Italian. She can't, and the main stress is in can't and Japanese. Speak. She can't speak Japanese. So the main stress in can, we say it in the verb. I can jump. But in the negative, we say she can't speak Japanese. And in that sense, we can have an appropriate pronunciation in the English language using these kind of models. Now we have must and mustn't. In this case, must is, we use must for a necessity. Can, poder, can't, no poder. Must, deber. So in this case, necessity. Must is a necessity, is an obligation, and is a certainty that something is true, right? Debes de. Now we have some example. You must study if you want to pass the exam. That is a necessity. You must follow the rules. It's an obligation to follow the instructions. It's 10 o'clock, so James must be home. That is the certainty that something is true. And we have the mustn't is a prohibition. Esta es la prohibición. You mustn't exceed the speed limit. Now, we have the same thing in pronunciation, the main stress in here. You must study if you want to pass the exam. You must follow the rules. And then the other one, it's 10 o'clock, so Jane must be home. And in that case, we make the stress is on the verbs. Meanwhile, on the other one, in this example, you mustn't exceed the speed limit. So in both cases, in can and must, the verb, the main stress is on the verb. And in can't and mustn't, the main stress is in can't and in the mustn't, in this case, in the modals. Now, let's go to the next slide. And in the next slide, we have the example, and in here, we are going to write, it says read and answer the sentences carefully, using the most appropriate modal verb. In this case, must, mustn't, can, can't. Now, let's take a look at this. And number one, it says, David is 14 years old. He, and then we have he, he in this case is mustn't. And he mustn't, or we say must not, right? And he mustn't have a driving license. Music. He mustn't have a driving license. Now, number 2, you respect other people's opinion. That is something that is an obligation to do it, right? It's like an obligation to respect people. So in this case is you must respect other people's opinion, right? So that is something that we respect, other people's opinion. Now, number 3, you pass me the butter, please. In this case, we are requesting. And if you are requesting, we make use of can. Can you pass me the butter, please? Now, number 4, if you have a problem with one of your classmates, so we have a possibility. You can ask for help. If you have a problem with one of your classmates, you can ask for help. So that is a possibility, right, of working in here. Now, let's see the other one. Jane is so intelligent. She can speak 5 languages. That is an ability to speak several languages. Now, number 6, students. In this case, students, this is, in order to follow instruction, is students must wear a uniform at Eton College. Now, Kelly says, you clean your room before going out with your friends. So the mom is saying, Kelly, you must clean your room before going out with your friends. So it's giving an instruction. And in this case, we use must. Number 8, this is a prohibition. You mustn't or you must not smoke in hospital. It's totally forbidden, right? Now, let's see number 9. How, we have how I get to Oxford Street from here, please. How, and it is requesting, how can I get to Oxford Street from here, please? So it's asking for a direction. Now, number 10. What she told me be true. I am certain it is false. So in this case, we use must not. But what happens if we use cannot? So it's possible to, right? It's possible to. It's not totally close the use of different models. It depends on the speaker's opinion. Now, number 11, what she told me be true. I'm certain what she told me must be true. I'm certain it is true, right? So that is something that is like an obligation to be like that, because is sure, the speaker is sure that is true. Now, and always arrive home at 9 o'clock. It's 9:30 now. So she must be home. She must be home because it's 30 minutes later than this. And the other one, Alex always arrive home at 8 o'clock. It's 7:15, so she must not be there, right? Because it's not the time. She must not be home. But what happens if you say, she can be home? So it's possible to, because in one is an obligation and the other one is a possibility. And the last one, it says, these are the house rule. The house rules. So in this case, we use you mustn't, you must not You must not, yeah, in there, right? And in here. Let's see. And I write it in here. And I write it in here. And it says, you must not listen to loud music. But in this case, it gotta be in here, right? This has to be in this place, right? So that's how we use. I didn't write it there because of the space, but you know, this is how you can use the modal verbs. So what happened, but it's a possibility. It's a possibility that you can use different kind of modals on here. It's not necessary to use one only. It depends on the speaker's opinion, right? So that's what we have in here. Let me erase all drawings and let's go in here, erase and close. Now, that's all for today. Remember to ask your teacher to ask me. Remember to ask me or you can ask another classmate if you need help. I can give you more explanation, more examples, and exercises if you need them. The only thing that you have to do is to raise the hand. Okay, now remember people to stay home. If you stay home, you stay safe. Thanks for watching.